What's up, YouTube? It's Starwolf. Look here. We don't need another East Coast, West Coast war. We already experienced that and went through that. We done already been there and done that back in the day with Biggie and Tupac. And we already know that shit was orchestrated by the government. So we don't need no modern day, no new East Coast, West Coast war. I know that everybody should be, well, I ain't gonna say everybody should be familiar with what I'm about to speak on, but there was a video, there was a video that surfaced, and it was from this dude in New York by the name of Corey King, call himself CK. You know, apparently he was talking about how certain rappers, certain people have to check in when they come to New York. So this whole check-in thing is garbage to me, and I'm gonna break it down and explain why. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure out why it's trash. First of all, you're talking about Blueface has to check in or whatever because you saying he should apologize because of the things he said towards Pop Smoke. And I guess a lot of people in New York feel, they taking that as disrespect. Now, was it disrespect? Yeah, it was disrespect, because Blueface always saying something, you know, when people die. Now, Loki Shmula put out a video. I know everybody's seen that. He wanted Blueface to apologize. Me personally, I don't believe that Blueface is gonna apologize. I don't believe that that's in his heart or that's where his mind is at right now. They not even worried about nothing like that. And then on the flip side, you have CK who made a video talking about when people come to New York, they gotta check in. Now look, black people always talking about somebody have to check in. We always going against our own people. Look, how the hell you gonna make somebody check in, but you can't make the enemy, the real enemy check in? Star Brim, look, Star Brim was indicted. She was indicted by the feds. Okay, her along with probably 18 other bloods from New York. Now, I'm going to ask this question, and this is a real question. How many people from New York told the feds that they have to check in before they come and arrest somebody? You know what? I'll answer that. Not one person. Not one person has told the police. Not one person has told the feds that they have to check in. You know why? Because black people fear the police. They fear the feds. We quick to go against our own and display self-hate in front of the world's eyes. We'll go against each other. We'll tear each other down and destroy each other and act like that's power. That's a false sense of power. You want to show real power? You want to show real power within your neighborhood and show who you really are? Stop the police from indicting. Stop the feds from indicting people. Stop the feds from arresting people in the neighborhoods. See if who gonna stick their neck out there and help Star Brown. She waiting to drop her baby, and when she drop her child, she has to turn herself in. So who's powerful enough to go with her to the courts or wherever and tell the feds, look, y'all have to check in first. Y'all can't fuck with Star Brown. I already know the answer to that. Ain't nobody gonna do that because you're not powerful enough and you don't have enough balls. You don't have the guts. And that ain't talking about New York. That ain't no shade on New York, but that's in any black community. You can't tell somebody you can't tell somebody you have to check in when you come to this city. You don't run that city. You don't run that city at all. That's a false sense of power. When we gonna start standing up for one another and stop trying to tear each other down with all this this gang BS? Everybody done been Crips, everybody done been Blood, some of us still doing it. It's trash. It's self-hate. It's a lack of love. You have a lack of love for yourself and for your peoples. You can't possibly love your peoples if you sitting back. And I'm not speaking about one person. I'm speaking about all of us. You have a lack of love for yourself if you telling somebody in your own race they have to do this or do that, and you'll never tell the real enemy. You see, like I said, we don't need another East Coast, West Coast war, because if one particular incident happens, which one incident did happen with Pop Smoke, and apparently there's a lot of people in New York on the East Coast that's mad about that. And like CK was saying, he said he tired of everybody in California doing shit, you know what I'm saying, where it affects other people. It affects people's parents. You don't know, people might be getting fed by this dude. You know what I'm saying? So he looking at it in that manner where it's like, okay, you done took somebody that's real from us, whether he was from a gang or not, and he was helping people eat or whatever, but still though, you can't put that on one coast. You can't put that on one city. You can't say LA doing this, LA doing that. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing that for years. Everything that's going on in LA, that shit didn't happen overnight. It's been going on for years. The whole world copy LA. So, I mean, for somebody to say, stop what you're doing and check in, you got to come to this coast. When you come, you got to check in. Come on, man. That shit's silly. I stand with you and stand beside you when you tell the feds to check in. I stand with you and beside you when you can tell the NYPD to check in. When you can tell that the Arabs, when you can tell the Asians, when you can tell every other race that they got to check in, that they can't open up no type of stores, no type of businesses in the community. Other than telling your own people that's silly. That's silly. That's, like I said, that's a false sense of power, and don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Anybody that was involved with the Pop Smoke shit, with the Pop Smoke case, man, taking out a young brother for whatever reason it was. I mean, me, in my heart and my eyes, I feel that it could have went a million different ways than which it did. He didn't have to be taken out. He didn't have to be murdered, If it took 3 or 4 people to run up in there and do something to him, then it was faulty from the jump. Because I can understand if a person have beef with one person, sit down and talk about it. Be men. This is how men do. If you have a problem with somebody, come to that man and be able to be respectable and sit down and voice your opinion, or whether it's your opinion or fact, voice what the matter is, what the problem is, so both sides can come to some type of resolution other than violence. I'm trying to be a mediator. I'm trying to be a peacemaker. I'm not the one that's trying to advocate for violence. I'm from the West Coast. I'm not fixing to go against the East Coast, because I don't look at it as no coast thing. I look at it as us, our people, our race. Whether you from New York, whether you from LA, whether you from Texas, it don't matter where the hell you from in the United States. I'm riding with you because you my peoples. But all this division, East Coast, West Coast, down South, Midwest, that shit's stupid. That shit is stupid. We can't tell nobody to check in. It don't matter where you from. We can't do that. How we gonna tell our own peoples we gotta check in? Check in with who? For what? Who are you? And I'm speaking on anybody that has ever fixed their mouth to tell somebody to check in. How we gonna tell? How we gonna do that? We can't tell the next person. We can't tell the next man to check in. That's crazy. Nobody checking in for what? Like I said, tell the feds to check in. They just did a sweep and arrested all them bloods in New York with Star Brim. And didn't nobody tell them not to check in. In fact, people ran away. Stop running when the police come around and stand up and fight. If you really about that life, and I'm not just speaking on New York people, because this happens in all the black communities. I'm speaking to everybody that's listening and everybody that's telling somebody to check in, anybody that's trying to press another black man or woman. We all equal. We all equal. Ain't none of us better than the next. And like I said, we don't need no East Coast, West Coast war. We don't need that. That shit is stupid. We lost two good men back in the day to that. Them peoples played a big part in that. They had their hand in that. They kept it going. They threw gas. They threw gas on the fire. They this is how they do. Keep division amongst us. But anyway, I just want to bring this message to the peoples. Love y'all. Y'all should love one another. We all should love one another, because that's what it is. Because don't nobody love us. So we got to be able to love ourselves. Get rid of exterminate the self-hate. Look here, if you're new to my channel, thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button, that notification bell on the way out so you can get these videos when they drop. Make sure you share my videos on all social media platforms. Peace.